Hey there, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if it's your first time here. My name is Erin, and you're watching an episode of Hashtag Friday Sews, the awesome hashtag that was started by Jen from Today in Jen's Sewing Room as a way for us sews here on YouTube to have the opportunity to get together on a weekly basis and chat about what we're working on in the sewing room and a little bit about life outside of the sewing room. So thank you so much to Jen for this amazing hashtag. I want to start off this video with some very exciting Happy Mail that I got. I'm already previewing it. One of my subscribers, Lynn, commented on one of my Friday Sews videos probably weeks ago now, because I talked about having cut out a romper for my daughter who's almost 18 months old, almost a year and a half. And then kind of thinking through the fact that it didn't have any crotch openings. The pattern doesn't call for any way to change a diaper easily except for totally undressing them, which is silly. So she offered to send some snap tape that she had laying around and wasn't going to be using. So there are multiple colors and different kinds of snaps. I've seen the metal snap tape before, but I will say this is much stronger than the snap tape I have. I think I've used it once before in an outfit for her, but the snaps on it were weak. And as soon as she was crawling at the time, as soon as she crawled, they popped open. These are much stronger, and same as this, the pink and blue both have these super, super strong plastic snaps. So I really appreciate this, and I think this might actually be the perfect color to go on that outfit. So I'm going to hopefully be able to play around with that a little bit after Christmas. I do have an email for my YouTube account. It is contacterinsews@gmail.com. It is down in the description box. I made it relatively recently and literally always forget to mention it. So if you want to send me pictures of the projects you're working on or talk to me about something on a more one-on-one basis and not in the comments that everyone can see, please feel free to use it. That's the reason I set it up. Yeah, that was, oh, she sent me snap tape and this really, really cute card with little mice. Brady was obsessed with it because of the little pom-poms. She's very into pom-poms right now because she's a year and a half old. And Lynn also included this beautiful ornament, hand printed with original carved blocks on Colorado aspen slices from a rubymoon.com. Now that I've shown it, I can go put it on the tree. A really cool thing is that Lynn lives in the city that my husband Adam is from. So just small world. Thank you so much, Lynn. This was such a delight to receive, and it was very exciting. Thank you so much. Like I said, I have an email that I always forget to mention, but it's down in the description box if you ever want to shoot me an email about collaborating, if you're another creator, or just send me a picture of what you're working on, because I like seeing the descriptions of what you guys are working on when you comment about them, but it would be really cool to see pictures of them also, or if you just want to chat. Okay, on to what I sewed this week. The first thing I finished up was Simplicity 9489. I had a request from a family member to make some adult bibs as a gift. Well, they asked for one, and then I figured that would be annoying because you don't have to wash it after every meal, but you're gonna have to wash it semi-frequently, probably. So I showed my progress on it last week, but I finished this one up, and it turned out really nicely. I don't know if I still have the video of it or not, but I did have to bring the sides in of the upper bib by an inch on each side, and then well, finished inch. So then including seam allowance, I actually brought the pattern piece in by an inch and 5/8. Yes. And then the lower bib, I just gathered more. I did not change the width of it at all. What I did do though was shorten it by 4 inches. Oh, I have it on backwards. You can't really tell. It's just which way the hem is done. But yeah, I think it turned out super well. This is the one I like the most out of this view. I did 2 of these, and then the other one I did was blue. The other modification I made, besides the sizing, is that it had you just top stitch across the top here, I believe, and I went ahead and top stitched around the whole thing just to kind of help it look a little more polished. It was easy enough to just keep going. So I did that, and then I made view F. So those were both view D. Like, look how long that is. I'll try and find the video I took for Vlogmas of me showing how I shortened it. But yes, so that is view D. Then I also wanted to make a view F, which is kind of like a scarf, so you could wear it out or like have it in a bag to put on when you're out. I made it out of this Walmart bundle sweater knit of some sort. Now, on this one, I went a little rogue. Let me see what my notes are. I went rogue, very stressful. Okay. It suggests using cotton blends, flannel, chambray, Oxford cloth. So not a knit fabric. And I did use a knit because I don't know, it seemed right for a scarf, and I'm picturing this very, very scarfy. The problem is I chose to use a different type of fabric and then didn't think through the ramifications of that all the way. So it had you interface two pieces, one on each side, and I did that, which obviously then became a problem when I was sewing the interface piece to the non-interface piece. So next time I would interface all of the pieces, I would say, is my current idea. I do think that the top stitching kind of saved it, and everything worked out decently. I'll show you. So, I mean, it looks, once again, I'll try and find a video that I took when I was making Friday sews for it. But like, you just kind of bunch it up and it just looks like a scarf. So that's kind of cool. But then when you go to eat, spread it out, kind of cross it. I had thought about putting a snap or something, but it's really not necessary. I mean, even if you're like moving around, talking and stuff, it stays put pretty well. Yeah, and then you can just, when you're done with your meal, shoop, and be done. I did not make any modifications to the sizing of this because it's really not too terribly long or anything like that. I did just obviously modify what fabric I used and didn't think that through all the way. I am pretty pleased with the result. We'll see after I wash it. I might have to come back and try it again, either with interfacing all of the pieces or with using a woven fabric if this comes through the wash kind of crummy. But I have faith. I got all of those done. I do want to run them through the wash just to make sure everything like holds together really well. It's one of my biggest paranoias about gifting people sewn things. Like, what if it falls apart? It won't. The things I make myself don't fall apart. So why do I think they'll fall apart? I just do. I'm terrified that they'll fall apart and people will be like, you're bad at sewing. Hasn't happened yet, but it's my nightmare. I also did realize that I pre-washed the terry cloths and then the fabric for the scarf one, but I forgot to pre-wash these. They were fat quarters anyway, so would not be inclined to wash them. But I do want to run them through the wash with a color catcher, especially this blue one. I could see it bleeding. I got those finished. I'll be able to run them through the washer and then get them in a box and off to go, wrapped in a box, off to go, all that stuff. The other gift I accomplished was my mom's Harper cardigan, and I love how this turned out. Absolutely love. I do still need to steam it. I'm gonna I might run it through the washer. Oh, I think I do because I have some markings still. Anyway, still a little wavy from putting the front band and stuff on, but I love how it turned out. This is a micro fleece from Joann's in this beautiful, like a gray blue, not really a slate, like blue slate-ish color. And it's very cuddly. I tried to combine cozy and cuddly. Cuddly. It's great. I did the cropped version. I did a size 6 and graded out to an 8 at the hips. Really, her measurements, she's in a size 4, but she likes a lot of extra space in her arms generally. I do think I have her measurements because she knows that I'm making this. Her arms would have been fine in the size 4, but I know she prefers a little more space, so I went with it. And then I graded out to the 8 because I've talked about this before. She's a paraplegic and she sits cross-legged, or at least with one leg crossed up most of the time. So her hips are obviously, when sitting, larger than when standing. So I took her measurements in her chair to make sure that it wouldn't be too tight or anything when she was sitting down. And that's the reason I did the cropped also, is the length of it should end like right at her high hip and not interfere with her wheel or anything like that. So I also used a closed overcast stitch on my machine, which I think just helps make it look a lot more finished. Knit garments that I make for myself, or even that I've done for Adam, I don't finish the seams because I don't have a serger, and this took forever. The cardigan itself to sew, not difficult. Comes together very quickly. But this like 12-point turn that it has to do for every single, it's not really a turn, but I think it goes like in a figure 8 over and over again, basically. It takes forever. I did put a little label in here. That's super cute. Everything's super cute. And I did all of the suggested top stitching. So I top stitched the shoulders, the bottom band, and the front band. Those were all the spots in the pattern that it was suggested to top stitch, and I really like how it turned out. I think it looks professional. I think it looks like something that you would buy at a store, a like decent quality store. Super pleased with how that came out. The only thing that I struggled with the pattern, it's a good pattern, free, very straightforward, all makes sense how it comes together, except there was a part, let me get the pattern piece. This didn't make sense to me. It still doesn't make sense to me. I just went with it, and the instructions, it's not really required. Let me explain this, and then someone can explain to me in the comments what I'm not understanding. So this is the front band. Cut 2 on fold. Here is the fold, right? And then here you have your notch guide for the neckline into the fold. Yes. So you have a folded piece of fabric. You cut your piece out, you transfer the marking, and it's in the middle of your piece. Okay, so you have the markings in the middle of both front band pieces. They join in the center of the back. So my markings were like right here. That's how it played out for me, is the markings were right here. But what the markings, I believe, per the pattern we're supposed to be doing, was telling you where to line up the neck band or the front band pieces with the shoulder seams, because it further explained in the pattern. And this is how I was able to do it without the notch markings making any sense. It further explained that everything from here down, you should not have to stretch at all. You should just lay it on the bodice flat, not have to stretch anything to make it work. Your center seam, or your seam from joining the 2 front band pieces, should be in the center back. And then everything between the 2 shoulder seams, that's where you're going to have to stretch to ease it in. And that's how it doesn't stand weird on your neck, which makes sense. I struggled so hard on trying to get these notch markings to work until I was like, I don't need them. And you really don't. I tried to watch multiple sew-alongs and no one else referenced it being an issue. So I think it's just me not understanding the markings. No one even brought up the markings that I could find. Either way, made it work. Very easy sew, cute cardigan. I did not end up putting any pockets on. I think I referenced that previously, that she might like pockets to, carry a little Kleenex or something in. I didn't end up putting them on because it's such a small Cardigan. I mean, I did the crop version, and my mom's a small human, so I just thought it would look kind of silly. Honestly, it would look out of proportion to have the patch pockets, so I didn't do them. But I think it'll be fine. I think she'll still like it. I also thought about adding buttons, but I didn't do that either. Not for any significant reason, except that I like how it turned out without them. And that's all on the Harper cardigan. I can also get this wrapped up and under the tree. That is what I accomplished this week. I feel good. I especially feel good getting those bibs done because that was the only thing I needed to send anywhere. Adam will be here for Christmas and my mom will be here for Christmas. So everything else that I'm making is for those two people and can go under the tree. Speaking of Adam, the next thing I started working on were some joggers for him using Simplicity 9691. He has another pair that I made him from this pattern that he loves. And I actually cut these back during the summer when we were getting ready to move, and I did a bunch of batch cutting, but then our move happened faster than we expected, and I didn't sew any of it. I already had these cut and ready. I am doing the waistband differently. I decided to do a cut on waistband, cut in waistband. Basically, instead of having a separate waistband piece that then attaches, I decided to just extend the pieces for the pants or for the legs up, and then I'll fold it over and create the channels, and it just reduces a little bit of that bulk, because that's the only thing I didn't like about the other pair I made him is it was out of a sweatshirting, and that area along his hip is just really, really bulky. It's not super noticeable when he wears them, mostly because there's always a shirt over it, and he says he doesn't feel it, but I think it looks weird. So I'm trying to avoid that this time. This is a really cool grungy fabric. That's the pocket space tip right there. From Joann's that I got on clearance for 70% off. Yeah, we're back onto all that fabric. Same thing with my mom's micro fleece, 70% off. I'm finally using the fabric that I bought this summer. And it is and so soft. I don't know what it is. I'm not good at fabric identification. It's like a French terry but brushed. Is that thing? Please inform me. One of my goals for next year should be to get better at fabric identification. So I have the pockets on and then the front and back of each leg together, and I'm about to start working on the inner leg seams and then stuff them in each other, waistband, cuffs, etc. I will definitely be able to finish them next week. I'm gonna finish those up, and then the other thing that I'm telling myself I have to get done is quilting this quilt top for my mom. She actually put the quilt top together a long time ago and found it, and she has never had a Christmas quilt and wants a Christmas quilt, obviously. So it's upside down. I told her I'd quilt it for her. I'd quilt it and bind it and finish it up so she has a Christmas quilt. I kind of wanted to get it done before she got here and send it to her, but at this point that timing wouldn't really make sense. So I just want to make sure it gets done to give her in time for actual Christmas. I won't put it under the tree. She made half of it, but it'll at least be done. And I do want to make her something else small, probably just like a little tabletop or something. Not 100% sure, but I do want to make her something else small that is a surprise. But that I don't think is going to happen this week, and if it does, that will also be a surprise to me. Well, yeah, that I would probably work on, or S9388. I want to make Adam a shacket from some brown wool blend coating. I did wash it, by the way. I asked for advice last week and got some good feedback from people on kind of all into the spectrum. Someone was like, I treated it like trash and it was fine. Someone else was like, low on it gently. That's not true. My only concern was it getting wet in like rain or something on accident. I think we'll mostly spot clean it, but I was worried about a pop-up thunderstorm or something. What I ended up doing was kind of a happy medium. I washed it on a delicate cycle in the washing machine. I did not buy special wool detergent because we don't really own any other wool and I'm lazy and didn't want to go buy it. But I just washed it with like a normal, gentle detergent because that's what we have. and on a delicate cycle, and it came out already pretty dry, so I just kind of like let it dry and called it good. And hopefully it'll be fine and not ever get destroyed. Those are my plans. Very many as usual, but the pressure, I don't feel pressure. The only thing I feel a little bit of internal pressure about is getting my mom's clothes quilted, because I think that would mean a lot, and making her something extra. So I might prioritize that surprise project. But other than that, I feel good. I know Adam doesn't really care if I get him anything. Anything I make him and give him is a bonus, and I would be making it and giving it to him at some point. Anyway, our anniversary is in January, so that could also work. But that is it in terms of life. I ran a marathon on Sunday. Um, Probably most of you already know because I talked about it in my Vlogmas shorts, and I've been talking about running it like nonstop. But the drama was that I was a little sick last week. Turns out I made, I wouldn't call it a miraculous recovery, but I was feeling much, much, much better. I did have a little fanny pack of cough drops and ate some of those during the race, but it really wasn't bad. I felt fine. After I got through the finish line, I thought I was going to actually pass out, not because of the running, but because I could not stop coughing. It's like my body was just like, okay, you have completed this now. We've been waiting. But other than that, I was fine during the race. The race actually felt phenomenal. At no point was I worried about finishing it. At no point did I feel like I needed to stop and walk, which was a great. Yeah, it was just phenomenal. It was at sea level, flat the whole way except for going up an overpass entrance, like onto a highway. Not like onto a highway, it was onto a highway. We ran up kind of a large curved ramp across or onto the interstate for a little bit, and then turned around and came off the another entrance ramp. It ended in the Biloxi Shuckers Stadium, which is the local minor league baseball team, and that was really fun. It was all just fun. It was so fun, and I already was like, I want to run another one, like right now. Not right now, right now, but like right now. And I think I maybe have Adam convinced to do at least a half marathon with me at some point. I'm just really happy. I've wanted to run a marathon for my first half marathon was about 10 years ago, and since then I have wanted to at some point run a full. Other than that, nothing crazy happening in life at all. We're chilling. It's great. We love it. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Hashtag Friday Sews. If you have not seen any of my Vlogmas shorts and you would like to, I will link the playlist on whichever side that it goes on. They're only a minute each at most, so you can catch up pretty quickly. I've been having fun making those and sharing my days with you guys, so if you want to catch up with those, I will link the playlist. Other than that, I hope you guys have a great weekend, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.